Hello, hello, hello. Rose's Melody here, and I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, actually. That came out weird, but yeah, Merry Christmas. So, once again, I know I've been sort of out of the loop lately, because that's how I roll, apparently. I vanish for months and then pop back every now and then. But today I wanted to bring you, basically, I guess you could call it a Christmas special. And this game has a history with me. So let's take a look at the original Pokemon, well, not the original, Pokemon Red version. Yeah, I know. It's really out of date compared to Fire Red and Leaf Green, and I know Alpha Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and Omega Ruby came out, and actually I've been playing through Omega Ruby slowly. But this game has always held a very special place in my heart. Because, well, I'll explain once we get started. Ah, Professor Oak. Your deeply pixelated glory. Yeah. So, the story with me in this game is, I believe I was in, second or third grade when I received a Game Boy for Christmas. So, because I received that Game Boy for Christmas, you know, the first couple games I got were, like, Fortified Zone... No, Fortified Zone was my brother's. I got Missile Command. It wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't my favorite either. I also remember playing a lot of DuckTales, DuckTales 2. My brother had a copy of Kirby's Dream Land that I started playing a lot of. But I actually didn't have a lot of games. Now, the Christmas I was in 6th grade, and traditionally I'm going to name this after my brother. Except I'm not going to use his real name like I usually do. So I will just use Hermit. And just fun note, Oak is just as forgetful in the Japanese version of the game, so yeah. Your very own Pokemon legend is about to unfold. Let's go. But anyway, so Christmas rolled around when I was in roughly the 6th grade, and, well, I got Pokemon Red. My brother got Pokemon Blue. I can't remember if I asked for the game, or if our parents just decided to get the match set, but I don't think I really knew what the game was when I first started playing it. And in some ways, I guess you can say this game changed my life. Because the best way I can describe it is this. Growing up, I enjoyed games. Don't get me wrong, I always enjoyed games. But for a large portion of my life, I was player 2. And most RPGs I had really opportunity to work with, which was literally Final Fantasy, the original. That's it. We didn't have any other ones. Well, Final Fantasy bored me at the time, honestly, unless my brother was playing it. I liked to watch him play it a lot, but I like to watch him play it, but he didn't like to play it as much as I liked to watch it, and I don't think he's ever actually beat the original Final Fantasy. I think he always died somewhere in the Earth Cave. Because everyone loves the Earth Cave. Yay. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to skip town now. Bye, y'all. But yeah, so... Oh, and we used to play, we had a Super Nintendo at this point too, I believe. I think my brother also had Donkey Kong, which I liked playing that a lot, and so did he. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So, eventually, we got... So, the Christmas I was in 6th grade, I was 12 years old. We got Pokemon Red and Blue for Christmas. And, well, I started playing and... Yes. Now that I'm done thinking. Which order are these in? I don't want a Squirtle because I want to do something else. I am actually taking Charmander. Hooray! Yes, I'm going to give a nickname to Charmander. And I am going to name him... There's actually a reason for this name. It's a race of lizard people that I'm working on. Anyway, I started playing Pokemon and I didn't realize just how badly it would suck me in. Actually, honestly, to be fair, I also didn't care. But, oh my gosh. So, we have this chair in our living room. And I just remember sitting in that chair for hours, holding the Game Boy under a lamp, because you basically need to be on the surface of the sun sometimes to see the original Game Boy clearly. Just a case of, you know, lighting and it being... And the screen was not the greatest of screens, but I actually kind of wish I still had my old Game Boy. Those bricks were durable, man! I don't know how many times I dropped it on the asphalt in the playground. I'm sure I damaged myself more than I damaged that Game Boy. Anyway. So, my brother beat his copy of Blue a lot faster than I beat my copy of Red. But I think one of the biggest moments I remember was... Oh, thank God you used Tail Whip. Because I wasn't even paying attention to this fight. Hooray! Level 6! You didn't pick the wrong one, you took a type advantage, dude. Anyway. Oops. That was a fast forward button. Oh good, he's healed. Anyway, I just remember so many moments of just sitting there, playing this game. Also, a fun note that will give my region where I live kind of away. So, in a city about an hour away from me, there is an event known as the Mummers Parade. Now, there's this song, Oh Them Golden Slippers, and I didn't realize this until, it was, I think about 10 years ago, I went to a wedding and they played this song, and they played Oh Them Golden Slippers, and I'm like, that's Route 2! Route 1. That's Route 1's music. That is Route 1's music right there. Well then. Anyway. But one of the moments I remember was just me sitting curled up in that chair playing this game, and I was in the Safari Zone, and by that point I'd looked up a fact because forget finding anything in the Safari Zone without a fact sometimes. I was 12. And I just remember I would sit there just sort of wandering the Safari Zone, for hours because I liked the Safari Zone a lot, actually. And I remember that 500 step limit and getting like 2 steps from something I wanted, but I'd made some missteps. I'd made a lot of missteps, really. And I got kicked out right before getting the item I wanted to get, and then I was sad. But back to an earlier point, in a way this game kind of has changed my life, because this is the first game I ever just sat there and played for hours and hours on end. I even used to play it on the playground. Like, I would just there was a giant field in back of my school, and I would go to the back fence under some berry bushes, which I used to eat the berries off of, because, you know, that's totally safe. Didn't hurt me, so I guess it was safe. And I'd just work on my team. And unfortunately, my original team is lost. I lent the cart to somebody, and well, no, that's not what lost my original team. I took my game to a hockey game my uncle was playing in, and my cousin was like, "Hey, can I play your Game Boy?" And I'm like, "Sure, just don't save over my game," because I only had Pokemon on me. I only had this game on me, and she saved over it. I was about 4 Pokemon from completion, including Mew, which, yes, I glitched to get. It's one of the most famous freaking glitches, though. Man, I remember those days, too. The rumors of how to get Mew, and the truck by the SS ad, and those going on. I used to get a lot of my info from Pokemasters.net, I think it was. I don't think that site exists anymore. I even had fan art up on that site. I'm kind of glad the site died, honestly. But yeah, like, it was partially because of this game I got into RPGs, because this was accessible to me. This is what an accessible RPG was to me. Also, I do think I played a little bit of Final Fantasy VII, and I liked it, but I didn't get to play it very much, and this was really the first RPG I got to sit and play. Like, forever. And so, while I'm sad I can't show you guys my original team, I can't even remember what moves everybody had, but I remember the team. My original team was Charizard, Vileplume, I'm sorry, I'll never do that again, Gyarados, Alakazam, Golem, and Pidgeot. That was my team. And they basically face-rolled everything in the end, because I think I was level 90-something after a long time of playing. To be fair, some of that playing was after Pokemon Stadium came out and I unlocked Dodrio mode, and I would just... It's the funniest thought my friend and I have, where... So, after a while, you just end up beating up the Elite Four for money, basically. So I was just going through the Elite Four. After a while, I was going into the Elite Four with 2 of my good Pokemon, and then just a team full of weaklings just to evolve them. I spent so much time on this game. Like, it's kind of ridiculous how much of my life I guess you could consider I wasted on this, but this is part of why I wanted to get, this is part of why I got into wanting to make games. Why I started playing more then. Why I like RPGs at all. Really. Also, what I do remember about Final Fantasy VII, I remember I played it for like half an hour at my neighbor's house. Frankly, I liked playing the video games more than I liked trying to do bike tricks, but I tried to do the bike tricks. I liked reading more than I liked reading and video games a lot more than I liked running around outside, honestly. But that's rambling. So, here's the thing. I don't know if this game's going to become an actual playthrough. It might not. I mean, it could. Give me my map. Thank you, map. But it just... I've tried to play through Fire Red and Leaf Green, and I've never gotten that far. I never did. Whether it was because they just don't hold my interest, or maybe the nostalgia factor with this game is just too strong for me. I find this a lot more interesting than the remakes, and also, like, this is an interesting game for me in terms of evolution, I guess is the best way to say it. Especially when I look between this game and, say, Omega Ruby, which is, again, what I'm playing through right now. Which I've only just beaten the Mobile Gym. I've had the game since Black Friday, but I've been busy. But yeah, like... Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I didn't... For a while, a key member of my team was actually a Clefairy. I think actually, now that I think about it, I think she and Graveler sort of alternated. Or Golem alternated. And I know buying 10 doesn't get you any extra in this game, but it's a habit anymore. But I think part of it is just like, with almost all the other games, I had a lot of info about everything that was going to be going on in them. And plus, I didn't really grow up on the Advanced Generation games. I really, really didn't. Again, for me, it was... I played through Red and Yellow. Because, yeah. I played through Gold, Silver, and Crystal. I never beat Crystal, though. Because that's about the point where, in a lot of cases, I started being told I was too old to play these games. Yar, 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 yar. Yeah, I wish I hadn't listened to them either, because now I have all sorts of mental problems with this stuff. But anyway. So I played through Gold and Silver, and partway through Crystal. Also because I had just finished beating Gold and Silver, so... Now, Crystal was actually kind of an important game for me, too. Because it was the first time I could actually make a protagonist that more echoed me. In that she wasn't a guy. But it still was important to me for that. And I don't know, I just didn't really get into the Advanced Generation games. Like, no one ever bought them for me, and I wanted them, but apparently not wanted them enough. I didn't really... I got a DS and Pokemon Diamond. In fact, I got the DS just to play Pokemon Diamond after it had been out for a while. But I was a freshman and I was a sophomore at my old college at that point, and I don't know, I got to Heart Home City, and then I just kind of put it aside to do schoolwork. and never really picked it back up. But then what happened is I got in touch with a friend again, and we got Black and White together. And my obsession came back. It came back really bad. Oh my gosh, it came back so badly. Also, fun note, in this game, Gust was a normal type attack. So, every now and then when I'm fighting a battle, I think Gust is normal, even though it's flying now. Remember, I played this game a lot. And I think Gust was even flying in Gen 2. Because I also remember they completely changed up Pidgey's moveset. I'm also noticing I'm missing some of the convenience features that I had that are in the more modern games, like the experience bar. I'm not gonna get myself a rat. I'm also gonna swap out. But so I didn't really get back into Pokemon for the most part until Black and White. I remember because I got the white version, she got black, and then I got black 2 and she got white 2, and several copies in between. But even then, I had a lot of info on stuff going into the games. And I don't know, I guess in a way, going into the game, basically knowing all the twists and turns and stuff, I didn't find it as fun that way. But then X and Y came out. And I remember because a big thing about X and Y was they were being released globally at the same time, and it was amazing. I remember because I had a meeting that day. And yay. I'm not in a hurry. Yes, I'm gonna sit through the tutorial and talk. When X and Y came out, I went over her house, we got our copies of the game, and I played until about 3:30 p.m. I went over to my meeting. It was in Cherry Hill. I came back. I went from the meeting back to her house, and I stayed at her house until about 12:30 in the morning, playing Pokemon. I had the X version, she had the Y version, but like, that was the first game actually to capture the same sort of sense of when I was playing this game for the first time. So I've been thinking about that a lot lately. And actually, if you look at the design of X and Y, there are certain areas of it where you can tell were meant to echo the original Red and Blue. Or, well, I say original, but honestly, Red and Blue as we know them are actually updated re-releases of the original Red and Green. Because what happened is Red and Green came out in Japan, lots of improvements were made, it was released as Blue over there, and then we got Red and Blue, which was, again, an updated re-release of Red and Green. Which they improved a lot of things, you know, fixed bugs, improved a lot of the sprite work. I've seen some of the original sprites, and but it's still interesting to me, and I've been trying to work my way through, well, now that I'm playing, Omega Ruby, that sort of means I can sort of set the Gen 3 games on the back burner. But what I really need to work through is, like, Platinum, because I never did beat Platinum. Yay, fire! I like fire. I'm actually looking for a very specific Pokemon here. But you know what? I never found it in my original run-through either. I didn't really look that hard for it in my original run-through, but I used a different method, so I'm gonna just go with that, actually. So let's pop by the Poke Center, heal ourselves up. Also, what I find interesting is how this had built-in Super Game Boy support. Like, you can tell it as I transition between areas. It'll become... You can tell as I transition... Let me go to the Pokemon first. I want antidotes. 5 should be fine. And I will show you to... I will introduce you to Mel-style level grinding. It's because in this game and in several of the games, they had a little fun quirk about Pokemon, basically. Let's just go. I'm just gonna skip this grass here because I want to get into the woods. And this is the Viridian Forest. Ah, memories of the Viridian Forest. Yay, free Pokeball! I think I have something else. I think there's something else over here. Also, just so you know, I am running this completely off of memory right now. Ah, Weedle. That actually isn't what I want. I will, however, quite happily kill it. Because, you know, that's what you do in Pokemon games. You kill all the wildlife. Actually, fun thing I also remember is there was this series of fanfics I used to read called Pokemorphs. Oh, the fun times that were had. Oh, come on! Grumble, grumble, grumble. Yay, level 5! Yay, Sand Attack. Actually, Sand Attack can be very broken. Right, I need to remember... Let's just... So, we're just gonna use an antidote. But I know what I'm looking for. No, that's not what I want. Yeah, for poison, use antidote. We know that already. And yes, I'm walking in the grass kind of as much as possible right now because I am looking for a very specific Pokemon. Unfortunately, because I'm playing the red version, Weedle is going to be a lot more common than what I'm looking for. Like, a lot more common. I think also, part of why I have a hard time with like playing Fire Red and Leaf Green is because my memories are very, very specifically about this game. And they changed up a lot of the appearance ratios and all that jazz when they ported it to the GBA. And, well, I don't like jumping into a game in a lot of ways where everything I've learned has been turned on its head. We are actually going to swap over to Curie. And we're going to burn the sucker. Because, you know, I can do that. I can burn it. I can happily burn it. Hooray, level 6! However, I will let Star take out Caterpie. Because what I've noticed is Weedle tends to have a bit of a higher attack. Caterpie is, in general, I think has a bit more special capability. Part of what really hampers their lines is there are no... Actually, and it more hampers Scyther and Pinsir, really. There are no good bug attacks. And I can't remember if in this game bug... Because something I didn't know, actually, when I first played this game, but makes a lot of sense now, is originally moves were classified as physical or special moves based on, based on their type. It's not like you have now where moves are either physical or special independent of type. So, I believe Caterpie has a higher special stat, and Weedle has a higher attack stat, and also you notice in this game, I don't know how many of you have, I don't know, but special is all one stat in this game. That is why I had an Alakazam. Because they have a massive special stat. Holy cow, it is a massive special stat. And Alakazam with Psychic could basically face roll about 90% of the stuff I came up against. Like, I actually did have to put him in the PC a few times because, oh my gosh, he was face rolling everything. No challenge whatsoever. Of course, by the time I hit level 90, nothing was any challenge whatsoever. But yeah, like, I don't even know what I was talking about. Basically, a fun little quirk of the game is, if you come across any trainer with, say, a Kakuna or a Metapod, it is guaranteed, it basically will never ever have the attacks it would have if it evolved up to that. All it will do is harden. I have spent a very long time with a level 2 Pikachu. Just with something very low leveled. I would spend a very long time it was Metapod on Metapod combat, that's what it was. I was using a Metapod and fighting a Kakuna, actually. That's right, I was fighting Kakuna or something. And just after a while, I was literally only doing 1 damage. And I knew I was going to win. It was a foregone conclusion, especially if you find them in the wild like this, because they don't evolve till level 7. And also, a fun little note, if you find one in the wild like this is going to I believe this is going to give me 50 experience. And I believe this is the only Pokemon line I can do this with. But it should be 50 experience. Yeah. I believe this guy also has the pupa bugs. No, he has a Weedle. Fantastic. But yeah, experience you get from the from Kakuna and Metapod in the wild is always gonna be 10 times their level. Something I like about this game is you don't so much get less experience. You don't get less experience if you fight something with a higher level guy. It's more you just take more experience to level up. Okay, are you down? You are down at level 9. Oh dear, if I find what I'm looking for, I might just have to throw Pokeballs at it and hope I catch it because it's even odds. I will kill it outright at this rate. In fact, I'm gonna start using Fury more because I want to, level 10! No, I'm not gonna change this time. Don't worry, the fact that I'm face rolling everything right now isn't really going to last forever. But on that note, because I've been recording for about half an hour right now, I might come back with this game again, but mostly I wanted to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and show you some of a game that I know it's often passed over for its newer and honestly in some ways a lot better counterparts, but I just can't let this game go. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys soon, hopefully.